Are you a Nevadan voter? Are you finding the questions on the ballot during the election season to be rather difficult to understand, confusing, and perhaps misleading? Well, that is because they are. Hi, my name is John Cardiff Gerhardt, and I'm a nonpartisan candidate for the state legislature here in Nevada, over in the East Henderson and East Las Vegas area. And I wanted to make a video covering each question. So the reason why we have questions to vote on in the first place is because of Article 4, the legislative department, section number 18, which discusses the referral of certain measures to voters, and subsection 3, which states that a majority of all members elected to each house may refer any measure which creates, generates, or increases any revenue in any form to the people of the state at the next general election, and shall become effective and enforced only if it has been approved by a majority of the votes cast on the measure at such election. And so in this case, we are looking at question number 1, which doesn't really discuss exactly where in the Constitution we are making changes. However, if you have tech skills, you know that you can do a Control F and type in resolution NO period space 5. And we come up with 12 matches. And they all seem to be listed in Article 11, which covers education. So this question is going to revolve around education. And based on the description that it has, we are going to be discussing the state university and also the Board of Regents in relation to the legislature. So we have 12 matches. Now, as our Constitution is currently listed online, we have titles, and then we also have the full descriptions. And so, and not only do we have titles and the full description, underneath, in repetition in terms of the title being repeated, but we also have, when there's changes to the Constitution, the duplication to show what we have and what we could or will have. So that's where 12 comes in. Divide that by 2, you have 6, and divide it by 2 again, we have 3 different sections. These sections look to be number 4, which is establishment of state university, control by Board of Regents. And then the new replacement to section 4, if we vote yes, will read establishment of state university, legislature to provide by law for governance, control of and management of state university, and protection of academic freedom. Number 7 of Article 11, which is Board of Regents, election and duties, which would be replaced by Board of Regents, elections and duties repealed. So we would completely remove section number 7 in our Constitution. And number 8, immediate organization and maintenance of state university would be changed to use of proceeds from public lands donated by act of Congress for benefit of certain departments of state university. So now let's get into the actual meat of the matter. Section 4. The legislature shall provide for the establishment of a state university which shall embrace departments for agriculture, mechanic arts, and mining to be controlled by a Board of Regents whose duties shall be prescribed by law. The big problem I see here is in 2 instances there is a general vagueness where it seems that law is going to extend beyond our Constitution, written elsewhere, but not explicitly said where. So here, the legislature shall provide for, and whose duties shall be prescribed by law, refers to law existing somewhere else, as I understand it. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. And this is where the obscure power of the government comes in, where we don't really know exactly how our government works. And it's because of problems like these. So let's hope they fixed it. Let's see what the new section says. It looks like there are subsections within this section. So subsection 1, the legislature shall provide for. Nope, it doesn't look like they changed that language at all. Okay, so the legislature shall provide for the establishment of a state university which shall embrace departments for agriculture, mechanic arts, and mining, and other departments deemed appropriate for the state university. Subsection 2, the legislature shall provide by law for subsection A, the governance, control, and management of the state university. So it looks like the legislature is now going to replace the Board of Regents in controlling how the state university operates and possibly appropriates funds. Subsection B, the reasonable protection of individual academic freedom for persons who are enrolled in or who are employees or contractors of the state university and other public institutions of higher education in this state, in order to facilitate the policies of Section 1 of this article to encourage by all suitable means the promotion of intellectual, literary, scientific, mining, mechanical, agricultural, ethical, and other educational improvements. Now let's go to section number 7. Board of Regents, elections and duties. And as you can see, the replacement doesn't have any text other than, footnotes. So this will be removed entirely. It reads, the governor, secretary of state, and superintendent of public instruction shall, for the first 4 years and until their successors are elected and qualified, to constitute a board of regents to control and manage the affairs of the university and the funds of the same under such regulations as may be provided by law. But the legislature shall, at its regular session next preceding the expiration of the term of office of said Board of Regents, provide for the election of a new Board of Regents and define their duties. Okay. And this has been in place ever since 1864. So it looks like the Board of Regents was introduced by these 3. So now let's get into section number 8, titled Immediate Organization and Maintenance of State University. The Board of Regents shall, from the interest accruing from the first funds which come under their control, immediately organize and maintain the said mining department in such manner as to make it most effective and useful, provided that all the proceeds of the public lands donated by Act of Congress approved July 2nd AD 1862 for a college for the benefit of agriculture, the mechanics arts, and including military tactics shall be invested by the said Board of Regents in a separate fund to be appropriated exclusively for the benefit of the first named departments to the university as set forth in section 4 above. And the legislature shall provide that if through neglect or any other contingency, any portion of the fund so set apart shall be lost or misappropriated, the state of Nevada shall replace said amount so lost or misappropriated in said fund so that the principal of said fund shall remain forever undiminished. That sounds like a legal loophole where if funds are removed from the Board of Regents, siphoned, embezzled, but, the crime isn't particularly identified, that the state of Nevada, our state of Nevada, will pull from our coffers in reimbursing the Regents Fund. Hopefully that's changed. So let's see what the update reads. The proceeds of the public lands donated by Act of Congress approved July 2nd, 1862, Chapter 130, 12 Stat 503, and thereafter amended by Act of Congress for a college for the benefit of agriculture and mechanic arts, including military tactics, shall be invested by the state of Nevada in the manner required by law in a separate fund to be appropriated exclusively for the benefit of the first named departments to the state university as set forth in section 4 of this article. And the legislature shall provide that if through neglect or other contingency any portion of the fund so set apart is lost or misappropriated, the state of Nevada shall replace said amount so lost or misappropriated in said fund so that the principal of said fund shall remain forever undiminished. And that is a full overview of question number 1. Now, from my perspective, I may be young and naive, but this still looks rather convoluted. The language doesn't seem to be stated in a simple manner that all Nevadans can fully understand, and it still leaves a little room for concern regarding corruption. Therefore, I would conclude that although it does sound nice that, as far as I understand it, the Board of Regents may be replaced if we vote yes on this question, it seems like a very small change, perhaps irrelevant, compared to the broken system which is still in place. It sounds like the legislature, or the 2017 legislature, had their session in 2018, was making a power grab over the educational system and the Board of Regents funds, and didn't want to make that direct change themselves. Therefore, they utilized the ability to vote on the people to vote on this question. So they passed it off to us, the people of Nevada, to vote on this question in the understanding that it may be convoluted and the simple board signs outside would vote yes or no. If we vote yes, it would give the legislature more power. But it really doesn't seem to be making much change when it comes to the educational system. So I hope this helps clarify, at least identify the problem or the source of change that is taking place in our state constitution. And it gives you a little bit more of an understanding of what is taking place here so that you can make a better decision. Although I will conclude with the opinion that I have, and that is that we need to have a constitutional convention and entirely change the way in which our constitution is written so it's no longer confusing, as this is written with heavy lingo language of legalese. Legalese is very dominant in the scripture in this constitution, and especially these sections. And therefore, if we could upgrade our constitution through a constitutional convention by replacing the language of legalese with simple American English, then we will have a much better government as well as a much better educational system. So while I hope this helps you choose yes or no on question 1, I also hope this helps you come to the understanding that we need to have a constitutional convention overall in order to upgrade our governments and make the state of Nevada truly great. Thank you.